Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I humbly accept this award on behalf of all my colleagues at HDFC Bank. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers, the jury members, my colleagues, my family, and most of all, God for His blessings. You know, the world, as he rightly said, has changed around us, and that has changed the role of HR as we move, as well as how a chief executive deals with the employees. So when you see the convergence of telecommunication, media, and computing, what we have is a situation where the exponential reduction in telecommunication costs has eliminated the boundaries of geography. The reduction in cost of computing has made people more important than capital. The advent of specialized outsourcing has blurred competition, as well as allowed companies to offer products that they don't manufacture to meet customer needs. The profusion of media has made advertising very expensive, and therefore it has to be targeted. And lastly, and most importantly, the conversion which the changes in technology have allowed of information into actionable knowledge or choice has shifted the power to the consumer. The consumer today is really king. And what organizations have to learn is the ability to deliver to the customer what he wants, when he wants, and where he wants it. This effectively forces you to turn all business models on their heads. Because all of a sudden, you're not the important person, it's the customer out there. And it would take too long to go through the entire gamut, but I'd like to just cover one segment as to how this changes the function of HR, as well as the role with the chief executive. In this kind of organization, clearly you need a flatter organization. You need a management structure that is empowered, because the brand is built up at each customer touch point. So there's no overall branding. Every time he touches the company, the brand is built. What this requires then, as far as the company is concerned, is a much greater communication of the values of the company and its strategic vision across the length and breadth of the organization, which is where HR comes in. They not only have to understand it, but they have to buy into it, because he's going to deliver your vision and values to the customer. When this happens, clearly what you need is excellent communication, and that's where HR comes in. So you need communication of the values and strategic plan, you need an understanding, you need a structure that matches what you want to achieve. You need a different motivation level because it's a flatter organization. What we have found in our own experience is this requires actually HR to report into the chief executive and become a two-way conduit. Communicate his vision and values for the organization as agreed as a first among equals with the management team down the organization, and get back whether that's understood or not, and keep the people motivated. So it becomes a very, very important part of the business. They need to understand the business, and they need to understand how that business and strategy will be implemented, which is a completely changed role. And most things, as you go forward, you're not going to have a premium on a product. So the only difference will be people, and what people understand, and how each time they touch the organization, you are able to build up value. So I think I'd like to end with that. It's exciting times for us. I'd also like to say that there's too much doom and gloom around in terms of what is going to happen in India. My own view is that we need not transfer the doom and gloom that we have overseas into India. Yes, we are a part of a globalized world, and we will feel the pain, but not as much as the others. And there are a couple of reasons for this. Firstly, and I'm very happy for this, and I see my friends from the Reserve Bank are also here, and they should be happy too, that firstly, the financial tsunami of toxic assets and crazy market regulations bypass the Indian financial system. And that's something that needs to be understood very clearly. The Indian financial system is healthy, alive, and kicking. The banks are safe and secure. We are lending, and banking credit growth is 24%. Yes, you hear hue and cry from the industry that there's a shortage of funds. That's because everything else is dried up. The equity market, the debt markets, and the foreign trade markets. But our banking system, and thank God for that, is alive and is supporting the economy. We have a largely domestic economy. 62% of our GDP is domestic. So we will suffer, but not as much. And our main problems, which was the oil price and the commodity price increases, again with the grace of God, and you know God has always been kind to India, we managed to come along right through. Again with the grace of God, that's fallen. It will flow, it is starting to flow through inflation. It will flow through into corporate profitability with a time lag. So don't despair, we will recover faster than the rest. I think I've taken enough of your time. Thank you so much for your patient hearing.